What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today, I've got Ruben on, and Ruben is someone who joined Empire Blueprint about 5 or 6 months ago, I'd say, and we first met in person at the Arnold last year, correct?
Yeah, and I think I joined Empire Blueprint way less than that. Not even six
Was
months
it
ago.
was
Like
it 4 months ago?
I think it was in November.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was pretty recent. So not too long ago, you joined Empire Blueprint after we met in person at the Arnold. And have you always had aspirations to become a fitness coach, or did you not really see yourself doing this until we met and you discovered Empire Blueprint?
Well, I've always been a coach of some sort. I have been boxing and doing martial arts since I was a very young child,
Mhm.
and coaching has always been my passion because I've always had coaches. I was a horrible, rambunctious kid, and they kind of taught me the way of how to be respectful. And so when I was 17, I started like coaching underprivileged teens, if you will,
There you
people
go.
who come from bad lives. And as I did that, I've gained a passion. And I saw your videos of you and Dylan being like, you're really still a fitness coach in person. You want to spread it online. I'm like, I do want to do it online. I do want to help people.
There you go. Okay, so you started in person because you were a rambunctious child and you got a lot of benefit from coaches. And so you saw that value that other coaches had brought into your life and you wanted to give it to other people.
Oh, yeah, 1000%. Because I think a lot of people know what to do, right? Like,
Mm.
it's easy to lose weight on paper, eat
Yeah.
less, do this. But a lot of people can't separate the logic from their emotions. When
Mhm.
you're coaching yourself, it is so easy to be like, well, I had a hard day, so why not have 7 pieces of cake? So you
Uh-huh.
kind of need someone else to adhere to.
You know what? I think that that's really important, Ruben, because I think one of the reasons why you're so successful so early on, just having joined the program a couple months ago, switching everything online, I would wager to say that not number one, it comes from the fact that you were already a coach, like a personal trainer before you started. But at the same time, the fact that you see the value that a fitness coach can provide right off the bat is incredibly important. And a lot of people don't have that when they first get started. A lot of them are just drowned in imposter syndrome because they themselves don't understand the true value that they offer as a coach. And some people will spend 6 months, a year, even multiple years just trying to step into the shoes of a fitness coach and accept that the product that they sell is worth thousands of dollars. Does that make sense? Because that there's a disconnect there between the value that they provide and how much they actually think that it's worth.
I think that makes complete sense. And I think having a martial arts background is something that's so helpful because I almost saw like exact direct results. I'd be in the boxing gym and I'd have a
Mm.
client who like wouldn't move his head, he'd get popped, get his forehead popped up. And I'd be like, hey man, whenever you throw a punch, make your nose follow your knee. That's how you get your like head off center line. I would see him step right
Mm.
back in the ring and it was a completely different person. It was quite literally immediate results. I just saved this guy brain damage. You can't really get like any
Wow.
more immediate extreme results than that.
Yeah.
And people would like, be so thankful. And at first I did have imposter syndrome where it's like, oh well, all I did was teach him this thing. But then after a while I had some people thank me. I'm like, okay, I don't know much about a lot, but this coaching thing is the one thing I'm pretty good at. So I was able to find my confidence in it.
That is really, really cool to hear, man. So now walk us through when you first joined Empire Blueprint. I remember there was a little bit of there was a season of doubt where you were struggling. You were putting in the work. You've gained a substantial amount of followers since you first joined, and your videos are performing really well. Tell us about that first period. Like when you joined and things weren't really working, it was just weeks after weeks after weeks that you weren't seeing any progress. And did you start to think like maybe this just isn't going to work out?
Yes, I was struggle maxing like crazy. I I've never really made much money in my life.
Uh-huh.
But I got very lucky because a guy decided to run a red light at 60 miles per hour and completely obliterate my car and my shoulder. And I
Hmm.
got a payout. I got the money and I invested a large portion of it. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to join Empire Blueprint. I have literally
Hmm.
nothing else going for me. I have this coaching thing going on, but I'm not making much money off it. So I joined, and almost immediately, my life was in shambles. I had horrible interpersonal relationship issues. I got betrayed by someone I thought was my best friend.
Hmm.
My life started falling apart. I broke up with my girlfriend.
Wow.
My girlfriend was very negative at the time, which there's nothing wrong with her. She's
Hmm.
a very nice person, but she's very cynical. And she was just telling me like, "Hey, I don't know if it's gonna work out. Time to do something else in life." And I had so many people in my ear telling me it's not gonna work out. I started my LLC. Bank account was like low key in the red. I was not sleeping. And I think on top of that, I had so much self pressure. I was like, I have to make this work out because quite literally, no one believes in me. My entire life, I've kind of felt like a joke because I haven't had any real monetary success in anything, and it was just so hard. But as long as there's delusion, there is hope. And I had this idea of like, I'm just gonna try, and even if I reach for the stars and miss, I'm still gonna land on the moon and learn something.
Hmm.
So I just kept on going and going, and I found a formula that worked.
So you got into a car wreck. You broke up with your girlfriend, had your best friend essentially betray you, show his true colors. All of this was going down when you decided, I'm actually going to put my foot on the gas even more.
Oh yeah, because I think also I wanted to move out really badly because
Uh-huh.
I've always had family issues in
Hmm.
general. I've kind of been like a vagabond my entire life, where I'm people don't know this about me. I'm actually a high school dropout. Where
Hmm.
like my parents did not care if I went to school or what. Like so, which is why I'm so good at fighting and coaching because that's what I did my whole life, you know?
Uh-huh.
And so I spent my whole life drifting on couches.
Hmm.
And around 17, 18 years old, I came back home. And my parents didn't really live here. It was kind of an empty house. It was actually awesome. I had a baller life for a little bit. But now people are starting to come back to the house. And there's just high tensions all the time. So I'm like, I got to get out of here. I got to go live a peaceful life. I got to go do something. So I had that weighing on my heart so heavily of like I feel like no one here is supporting me in my
Hmm.
life and my friendships and my family. I have to run away and find something better. So that's why I just put full send on the gas, because if you feel like you have a bad hand dealt in life, if you feel like nothing is going well, you're a dangerous man because you have nothing left to lose. If I go bankrupt and homeless, who cares? I don't have much going for me anyways.
Mm. Wow. That is really inspiring. So you had all this stuff going on when you decided to become a fitness coach, but you also have this crazy fitness transformation story. And I think that that's one of the things that really plays into you seeing the value in your coaching like from the very beginning and understanding, hey, like I can help a ton of people out with this. Can you tell the audience how much you weighed before you found fitness and
I
what that journey looked like?
I think the most I ever weighed was probably about like 330. I wouldn't know. I'm 5'7", guys. That was literally a circle. I was a ball. It was disgusting. And I think the whole thing is like, hold on, let me process my thoughts for a second. Yes, I was 330 pounds, and my life was in shambles. And I've had my coaches like really, really help me lose that weight. And I lost about 160 pounds in a year.
Hmm.
And I did it incorrectly. I did it terribly. I built no muscle. I was skinny fat at the end of it. And I don't want to say I wasted what could have been progress, because it was just work and progress being stored for later. Because if I didn't waste that time, then I wouldn't have learned. So there's
Hmm.
always something I'm gaining out of that. But I see so many people, especially here in America, who are overweight and they're like me, where they just don't know. I didn't know what a calorie was, you know? And like that
Hmm.
doesn't make you stupid, that just makes you ignorant. And it's really not that hard in the beginning. People are like, "Oh wow, you made such a crazy transformation. I bet it was so hard to lose the weight." Actually, no, it's hard to lose the weight once you get lean. Once you're
Hmm.
already to leaner body fat, that's when it's hard. For
Very
the
true.
a lot of my clients, I don't even have them track calories for the first like few months because you don't need to. I just teach portion control with hand sizes and like eat leaner this
Hmm.
and do this and that, and the weight starts coming off dramatically because then they start walking and training, and it's just establishing healthy habits.
Yeah, that is really important. And one thing that I caught that you said was, hey, when I first started, I didn't even understand what a calorie was. And I was 330 pounds. And I think that that in and of itself is a massive portion of the population that we are trying to help as fitness coaches. And I think a lot of fitness coaches get into their own heads and they think, oh my gosh, everybody's trying to do this fitness coaching thing. I really don't provide that much value. I can't make money off of doing this. Everybody already knows how to do their workouts and how to eat properly because well, all the information's on the internet, but you don't realize that you're in a bubble because you enjoy nutrition and you enjoy training and you might have lost the weight for yourself, but you don't understand that everybody else out there, there's so many people that need that coaching, that need help, that don't know what a calorie is. They don't know how to organize their diet. They don't know what their workouts should look like. They're scared to get into the gym because they think that other people are going to judge them for it. Those are the people who you can provide an insane amount of value to. Like, not everybody is constantly on Chat GPT or searching Google and YouTube to try to find out what's the proper nutrition and the proper training. The value is right there. And so I think that another element of your success, and that's what I'm trying to do on this call, is I'm trying to like break down your story, but then also break down the key elements that really are making you successful with this, and like showing us that you're going to be way further along even a year, 2 years from now, because of these foundational principles and these things that have happened in your life. And I think that that's a big one, is your ability to put yourself into the shoes of who you used to be and say, hey, I needed a lot of help back then. Like that, I would have benefited so much from myself, my future self coming to rescue me, my future self coming to save me and provide me with that value.
That's exactly how I feel because I think another thing people don't consider when asking what value do I provide is what background do I come from? Because my whole thing is I'm just trying to be the most reasonable coach out there
Mm-hmm.
because I think I've had really bad experiences with a lot of boxing coaches, right? Um, each culture has their own style, and I'm Mexican, so I've gone to a lot of Mexican boxing gyms, and I kind of hate that Mexican style. It's important to learn, but if you go to any Mexican style boxing gym, they just tell you get in there, man,
Yeah.
brawl it out, and that's entertaining, but that does so much damage to your brain and your mental health
Mm-hmm.
because then you start to associate, oh man, I got to go hard, and that's what will get me rewarded. And I think you see that a lot with fitness coaches too, where they'll be like, suck it up, white knuckle it, just go, man,
Mm-hmm.
just go, doesn't matter. And I'm like, can we not just meet in the middle? Can we not just be reasonable and be like, yeah, do the hard thing, but then take this small break and then go? Like, can we just not do that? And I think that reflects on my content too, because 99% of my reaction videos I do, which pop off, is me just being a normal guy, is me just
Yeah.
being like, hey guys, can we
Dude,
just,
that is
yeah.
really, really good. And that is a very, very attractive thing for a lot of people to see. There's a large portion of the audience that speaks to because they're constantly being bombarded by the extremes. And so to have somebody that's like, hey man, like we can make progress, we can do this at the same time. You don't have to be this like David Goggins level character, in order to like run, or you don't need to be this David Goggins level character in order to like have some mental fortitude and like be badass. You know what I'm saying? And I watch through all of your videos. I see all of them. And that's exactly the type of culture that you're cultivating, is like normal people who have that want for greatness, but they also don't want to like die. They don't want to
Yeah.
sacrifice themselves, like completely and wholly right off the bat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I I think that the sacrifice comes more from the mindset because the method I use, that I have a video on it, and it's the method I use in my coaching, is a 7 out of 10 method. And it's like 7 out of 10 times you should be going at a 7 out of 10 intensity. You shouldn't
Hmm.
be going so hard you want to die and kill yourself, because then it's not going to be sustainable.
Yep.
But over time, what a 7 out of 10 intensity is gets raised for you. You
Hmm.
know? Like when I first started making videos, when I first started editing on YouTube, quite literally 10 years ago, a 7 out of 10 intensity was like an hour of work.
Hmm.
Now, a 7 out of 10 intensity for me is like 5 hours editing in a row, because I've built up the tolerance. I've quite literally progressive overloaded it.
Hmm.
So I've been a firm believer of like, unless you're going through a season where you really need to hit a deadline, in most cases, consistency is always going to beat short term intensity.
Hmm. Wow. That's really good. And you've thought about the psychology behind your coaching a lot, which is really, really good. You've thought about the longevity aspect, which is probably why you get such good client results. I want to ask you a little bit. So you had that period where you were like, dang, everything's going wrong, seemingly. Sleepless nights, it's getting absolutely brutal. But then you hit a period where you were just absolutely crushing it when the momentum started to build up. I can't remember exactly what the numbers were, but it was you made a really, really good amount of money one month. Do you remember what the exact numbers were?
Yes, I do, and I'll tell you, because I'll probably, this will be the richest I ever feel in my life,
Yeah.
because I made 5K in 1 week,
Yep.
which was crazy. And even now, like, I'm trying to recreate that again, which I think is very
Hmm.
possible,
Yeah.
because I'm about to move out. I already found a place, and I'm
Hmm.
so excited for that. But I that's the richest I'll ever feel. I don't care if I get 100K in my bank account next month. That was the biggest paycheck I've ever gotten. And it actually happened the
Wow.
day after my girlfriend and I broke up. The day after I
Oh.
stopped talking to my friend. It was divine intervention. I'm telling you, I wanted to get out my phone, send a photo to everyone, and be like, I told you, get out of my face. And I didn't,
Dude.
obviously. But it was like, oh man, I could have probably done a backflip in that moment. I don't even know how to do one, but I probably could have. It would have just manifested in my body.
That is insane. So you collected $5,000 in 1 week after pushing yourself, continuing to post, staying consistent. You break up with your girlfriend. All these people are doubting you. You see $5,000 come in. You make these high ticket sales for your fitness coaching, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is actually working. This is going somewhere." Then explain to me what happened after that, because you texted the group chat a little while later, because I knew you were going hard on your business and that you were in a season of grind after that, because you texted and you said, "Does anybody else struggle with sleep? Not because anything bad is happening in their life, but because they're actually too hyped up about their fitness coaching business and they're like too excited about it." What was the phase that you entered into after that?
You would think I was like having crack every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just a rush of euphoria, because I think also, as previously mentioned, like my parents never believed in me. And like the first thought I had was like, oh, I told you guys,
Yeah.
I told you so hard. Um, and like I would just lay my head in bed at night, and what a privilege it is to be busy. I think a lot of people see it as a negative of like, oh, I got to work on this video, and then I got to make this appearance, and I got to do this. And I'm like, no, it's, I get side quests every single day. It's awesome. I have a checklist of things that I can never run out. And my head would just hit the bed at night. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, well, I have 7 videos I get to edit. I have clients I get to talk to. And it being never ending can either be the worst or best thing ever, depending on your mindset. And my mindset is, I always have the ability to help people. I always have the ability to do something. And realistically speaking, I know I have the option to just call everyone and be like, I quit. Get out of my face. Here's your contract back. Take this money back.
Mm-hmm.
I know at any moment I could do that if I ever wanted to, which I don't want to. So because of that, I know I'm not chained. It's
Hmm.
it's something that I look forward to.
There you go. Well, dude, you have definitely got the coach persona. And I think that takes a lot of people a long time to develop. But like, I see it in you. I see it in you. Your care for your clients but simultaneously the exact mentality that it takes to really really be successful with this. And I think yeah, I personally experienced a very similar story to you. Like my life was in shambles. I broke up with my girlfriend. Everything was like falling apart in my life. And that's when I finally started to get successful. And that's when you feel the richest because you're like, wait a second, I'm putting all of the pieces together. Like people will pay me for my service. I just need to find these people who actually need my help. And you start realizing that the only thing between you and like where you want to be and proving everybody else wrong, sometimes that motivation at the very beginning really comes out of spite for other people, and sometimes that's what's required just to kind of get you going. But the when you start realizing, hey, I just have to put in that amount of work, we'll be good. Like
Yeah.
everything is there. It's just for me to like reach out and take it, for me to reach out and grab it.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think that's a good lesson to have as well, that this is the most I'm ever going to feel of this. Because I also experienced that with views. I've, in the past, had like one hit wonders of like a video get a million views. I mean, I've been doing it for 10 years, so at some point something has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But then I just had like a streak of like a week where I had multiple videos get like a million views on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And now I get 100K likes on a video, and I'm just like, oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
The first time, like I said, it hit like crack,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's also a good lesson of this too shall pass. It should
Yeah.
be used as a good thing and a bad thing. I am not my greatest achievement. I am not my worst failure. I'm probably something in the middle, and I
Yeah.
should maintain that humility.
That is really, really good. That is really, really good, man. Well, when it comes to your current situation, so you did the $5,000 in a week, and now you've been getting consistent. You've been trying to replicate that. Obviously, $5,000 a week, that would add up to $20,000 in a month if you were able to keep it consistent. What's the most that you've cash collected in a span of 30 days up until this point? Like, are you starting to get more consistent with it and seeing that consistency of revenue come in, or is it still pretty sporadic with where you're at right now?
It's about to be consistent since I'm going to move out. I'm going to be honest. I made 10,000, and then I honestly took a break because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need to work or sign on new clients. I feel like a lot of my life had been a very uphill battle,
Mm.
and I had finally had something to prove for it. And I
Yeah.
was like, I need a second. I
Yeah.
can't. I know I'm not ready for this.
Mm-hmm.
So I took a second, and I probably took about like a month. I don't want to say off because I was still working with clients and still
Yeah.
making videos. I just wasn't pushing the gas. It was more maintenance, a maintenance
Yeah.
phase. And now I'm at a point where I'm like, all right, let's do this thing. Yesterday, I spent 8 hours doing sales
Mm.
just in a row. I literally DM'd everyone that was like looking at my story. And then I went out and I talked to some warm leads I had about boxing. I talked to this man who wants to sign up his son. I talked to this other guy I knew at the boxing gym who saw me fighting, and he was like, "Oh, you coach? Please like sign me up. Teach me your methods." He didn't say it like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
He wasn't begging on his knees, but he wanted. And I reached out to all these people, and I think I'm gonna close like 3 deals today because
Yeah.
I usually give one session free in person with boxing, or I let people think about it. So today I think I have 3 people I can close, but I don't think I'm kind of insane. I'm
Mm.
not really led by money. I don't
Mm.
really care about money besides the fact of, okay, I do care about a cool car. I got a cool car. I have a place to live, and I can eat tomorrow. I don't need to make more than that, you know? So I don't
Mm.
think I'm going to try to replicate like 20,000 per month each month because I I don't need that.
Hmm. There you go. So you're somebody who's content. The money is not driving you. It's the fact that you're going out and you're doing what you want. And I think it's that freedom element as well. Because
Oh yeah.
what job were you working before?
I did so many odd jobs. I would coach. I had so many, my volume was crazy of clients.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna say it now. I was committing tax fraud. I did not have an LLC. I did not have anything. I was just pocketing all the money, and I would literally coach people for like, at first, man, literally like $10 a session when I was 17. And I
Wow.
got to the point where it was like $30 a session,
Hmm.
and I ended up charging people $40 an
Hmm.
hour for boxing coaching. So I was grinding that. I would do kind of freelance editing since I do have an editing background. People would send me their YouTube videos, their Instagram reels, and I would put it together. And I would undercharge for my work because I was so scared to get a no because I just
Hmm.
needed the money. I was probably making like $400 a month, if that.
Hmm.
And I was eating chicken gizzards and chicken liver every single day. Uh, I was like, man, if this continues, I am just going to walk into the ocean and never come back out.
Hmm. Gotcha. So you were at one point just ready to throw everything at the wall because there was no chance you were staying the same.
Oh yeah, and again, I think I needed that. Like
Uh-huh.
it's like Humpty Dumpty. Ooh, someone told me I fell off. I needed
Yeah.
that because I if I didn't destroy my life for a little bit and just volume after volume, one client after next client after next client for so cheap, I would not have already had the skills now.
Yeah.
It was like I was grinding in silence without even knowing it. The energy was being stored for later.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So you've put in the work, you know that you have the work ethic in order to make it happen, but you're not super driven by money. It's more about the value that you provide. When it comes to that level of spite that you feel motivates the first moves, are you actively trying to swap out your fuel source for like, hey, now I'm not trying to like prove people wrong. Now I'm trying to do it for another reason? Because I'll tell you, I myself, I very much started out of spite as well. Out of this idea, like people were like, oh, he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it on social media. He's not going to be able to make money from fitness coaching. He can't charge that much for fitness coaching. All that type of stuff. It's like I pent up that anger, and I started to build things up out of spite for people, and I started to succeed out of spite. But over time, it starts to degrade the quality of your life, and it's a toxic fuel that can get you really far at first. But then, as that hate starts to disappear, it's like, well, why am I doing everything? So, are you somebody that's actively trying to kind of move away from that fuel source?
That is a beautiful question, and 1000% because it made me depressed. You can have hollow reasons, you can have shallow reasons to do things, but those shallow reasons result in shallow victories.
Hmm.
They don't make you feel fulfilled, you just feel more empty. And you clocked it 1000% correctly because when I first started, it was completely out of spite. And that's why I had to kind of take a month off to like kind of figure things out because I did it and I actually went to a party in Kentucky because I just went and started traveling with my friends for a little bit. And my best friends live in Kentucky. So I went to
Hmm.
go visit them and we hit up a party. And I'm not even that great. I don't even have many views. I don't even have that many followers. But it somehow got out at the party that I'm doing social media and that I coach and that I do martial arts. And this whole entire part of my life, I was like, yes, this is what I dreamed of, the status, everything. And then I got it and I felt objectified. That's
Hmm.
all I became.
Hmm.
And I realized in 1 second, wow, years of wanting this for 1 second of validation
Hmm.
gave me nothing. And
Hmm.
it genuinely made me depressed. And I was like, that's not what I value. And that's where I came to the conclusion again that these shallow reasons lead to shallow victories.
Hmm.
Nothing changed inside. I was still angry. And I started to realize how I was actually changing people's lives. And I took a step back from the hate and was like, love is going to bring me so much further.
Hmm.
Because now I wake up happy. I wake up like, oh man, I can't wait to talk to my client. I can't wait to train with my client. I can't wait for that. And that's something that's going to actually make me want to live. Who cares if you have $1 million? Who cares if you got 17 supercars if
Hmm.
you do it out of hate because you
Hmm.
won't be happy.
Yep. I totally agree. And that is a crazy realization that a lot of the things that we really want, you get there, and it's very, very different. Especially if you're somebody who's captivated, like starstruck by the fame and by the money, like you'll feel awesome. And, I think that a lot of people start heading down really dark paths. I mean, I could list off 5 to 10 influencers who are in the mainstream right now where they just keep doing crazier and crazier things because they're seeking that validation from the internet and they just want more views, more clicks, like more attention, and it drives them off of a cliff. And so it's good to learn those lessons on a smaller scale, so
Oh
then
yeah.
you're not spending years of your life trying to achieve something just to figure out, hey, it is kind of useless at the top if you don't have people around you that are good, if you're not working for something that you're really passionate about and that you really, really enjoy. But I think it's always really important to remember how you used to think and how the average person usually thinks, which the average person looks at Ruben now and says, bro, he made $10,000. Like, bro, he's doing what he wants. He also gets views on Instagram. Like, his life is amazing. And so you have to like recenter that as well and play that balancing act of, hey, I need to remember that I'm right now where I didn't really think I could get here, and everybody else thought that I couldn't get here, but I like put in the work and it worked. Like, I had to bite the bullet for a while. I had to put my head down and grind, but at the same time, this is something that I wanted, and I can use it as a tool to continue to build my life and shape it how I want.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it's I agree. I think one quote I think of a lot is that not everything has to be done for some greater purpose.
Hmm.
Just caring about something is enough.
Hmm.
And the care I have for my clients, for the people I train, and for helping people, that is going to push me so much further than any spite. And it makes me feel 10 times more fulfilled. Give me a YouTube channel made out of spite with 1 million subscribers where I'm just hating what I'm doing.
Hmm.
It's never going to bring me happiness, but bring me one person who can
Hmm.
be like, Ruben, you changed my life in every single way. Man, I'm going to feel the best I have about myself.
Yeah, there you go. I think that really brings things to a good conclusion there. Is there anything else that you would want to tell somebody who's considering, this is going to go on the Empire Blueprint channel. So people that watch this channel are trying to make it work. They're trying to be a fitness coach. They want to help other people. They're probably working at a job right now that they don't enjoy very much. They're probably being told by their family that this is something that they are probably not going to be successful with. They're saying their parents are saying be realistic. Their family or their friends are saying, dude, just like get a normal job. All these types of things that you also experienced. What would you say to somebody in that position?
If you are being told that what you're thinking is stupid and it's not going to work out and that you have nothing to provide and you should just keep your head down and not take risks, but for some reason you still have this calling inside of you, then go do it. It's for a reason. Because I think the human body has a built in compass where sometimes you just get this feeling like, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. And that is a literal pull bringing you there. And if you have that thought, if that even occurs to you one time, don't suppress it, feed into it.
Hmm.
Because, like I said earlier, even if you reach for the stars and miss, you're still going to land on the moon and there is everything to gain. When experience is the main goal, you cannot fail.
I love that. That is really good. And do you feel like Empire Blueprint has helped you out a lot when it comes to gaining the experience and like the knowledge that it took to, hop on calls, close deals, build up your own confidence in your offer and continue to productize it?
1,000,000%. Because I knew nothing about business. And like I said, I actually make the majority of my money from in-person training,
Hmm.
actually. And I had a system there because a lot of boxing coaches, they charge 100 per hour, which
Hmm.
is absurd. And so I came in and I was like, hey guys, I have this payment processor that Brandon told me about.
Hmm.
You can pay in installments. It comes out to 30 per session, but I'm getting $2,000 now. I got you for a year. And it
Hmm.
became the most attractive thing ever. And it was a win-win for everyone. So you guys really taught me how to actually be not only a good salesman, but provide an irresistible offer where every
Hmm.
party wins.
I love it, dude. That is great. Well, I'm excited to see where you're going to be, a year from now, Ruben. And you've got a great perspective. You've got a winning mindset. I think that you've got all the tools that you need to continue to be successful. I think you're gonna continue to really, really see good results on social media. And maybe we'll have another one of these interviews 6 months, a year from now, and you'll still be crushing it. You'll be in an even better place, and I want to see that mentality, continue to shine through and help as many people as possible. I think that what you've got going is really valuable, and that other people deserve to experience it, whether it's under your wing or just simply through watching your content. So thank you very much for hopping on, man.
Yeah, no problem. Throwing it out there really fast, just in the world. Young LA, if you somehow see this, please sponsor me. I average out like 10.9 million views per month on my Instagram. Please, Young
There
LA,
we go. Dude,
please.
hey, keep it up. Keep it up. I don't think that it's definitely not out of the books,
Yeah.
man. I mean, it is definitely possible with the trajectory that you have right now. I 100% I believe it. I believe it that you'll be able to make it happen if you really put your mind to it.
I do too. I'm gonna be at the Arnold in 30 days. I'm gonna beg them then and there with a camera in their face. They cannot say no.
I love
Uh,
it.
so yeah.
I love it, man.
Thank you very much, you and Dylan, for everything you've done. If you're watching this on the Empire Blueprint channel, like I said, if you have this calling, try it out. You have nothing to lose. The
I
only thing
love
you
it.
have to lose is if you don't put in the work.
Indeed. Indeed. Well, have a good one, Ruben. Thanks for coming
Thank
on,
you.
bro.